Alright, so we're here with Standard tonight. We're playing Esper Fliers, and we just won the Roval, so I will play. And let's see what we get in our starting hand here. Not much action early. Bit of land, Dungeon Geist, Droxel Captain. Against an unknown. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do like vaults. I'm going to keep this. And we will go ahead and just lay an island and pass the turn. Hopefully we draw into, token producer or an anthem here. That'd be ideal. Opponent is playing 5-color control, I believe. So we'll see chromatic lanterns soon, I'm sure. And he ends the turn without dropping anything, so come on, draw step. Another island. Really do need to see a swamp here for Soren as well, but go ahead and let's drop the island and pass the turn. Next turn we do have Drogskull. I'm assuming we're up against a lot of board wipes here though, so Soren would be a nice thing to be able to drop. Although he most likely has access to detention spheres or oblivion rings. Speaking of, not really what I need at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and drop the Drogskull Captain. End the turn. I haven't played against 5-color control too much. It's definitely an interesting idea. It'll be easier once Gatecrash arrives, obviously. The mana will be there. Let's see if we see a chromatic lantern here. Oh, Vampire Nighthawk. Fair enough. Alright, so we will definitely be tapping that down with our Dungeon Geist next turn here. As soon as our opponent ends the turn. May have actually just timed out here, yeah. We're going to take a pause. Alright, and we're back online. It was a inconvenience, but that's the price of playing for free, so. Tel'aran's Invocation, eh? I could get some power on the board, but I'm going to go ahead. Really wish I had the black for Soren here, but I'm going to play Dungeon Geist. I'll tap down Vampire Nighthawk. And we'll attack in with the Dungeon Geist. And see if we can't start laying the beats. Nice thing about these guys is Dungeon Geist obviously has hexproof. Of course, mass removal is certainly a thing, although it doesn't quite have Supreme Verdict mana yet. So let's see what he does here. Another Vampire Nighthawk. That is certainly a thing. Let's see, what do we draw? Second Soren, that's certainly unfortunate, but we'll go ahead and just Detention Sphere the 2 Nighthawks. Kind of waste Dungeon Geist, but I'd rather just be getting the damage through against a control deck. Especially since I can't drop my Soren quite yet. Let's end the turn. What's he got here? Supreme Verdict. He doesn't have double white. Which, definitely a bit of a saving grace there. Dreadbore on... Well, it has to be my Drog Skull Captain. Yeah, so he takes my captain instead. It's fine. Now, I do have to worry about overextending here, so... We'll see what we draw into first. Drowned Catacomb. Swing in with him first. And hopefully... He can only syncopate for one, so hopefully he doesn't have a negate or something here. Sorin lands, and we'll put him up to 4 counters to create a vampire token. Suppose I should make him a black vampire token. And we will end the turn. And I just like keeping the token down there. It makes it easier to create each turn. So he's got Supreme Verdict. Probably going to use it here. That's okay. So I've got Sorin to make me a token every turn, which is nice. I've got a backup Sorin here. Tolerant Vindication can definitely put a bit of pressure back on the board right away. But we'll see what I draw. You know, ideally I'll get a Lingering Souls here. Dreadbore. Goodbye, Sorin. Alright, that's okay. Next turn I think we'll just drop Sorin again. Another Vault of the Archangel. Certainly got all our mana, but sometimes those are the draws. I don't know why he cares if I keep a counter. And the turn. Hopefully we don't see, you know, another Dreadbore, or I guess Snapcaster into Dreadbore is also a thing. But, you know, if I could draw something that wasn't a land here, I think I'm in a decent spot. Got him down nice and low right off the bat. But, you know, the further you go into a game, definitely the worse it gets against control. And my deck isn't the fastest. So there's a Jace. That's okay. So until next turn, I'm guessing creatures I control. No, he's going to spin them down. Fountain, Syncopate, and Chromatic Lantern. I'm not going to give him the mana flexibility quite yet. Syncopate doesn't worry me because, well, I don't really have a whole lot that's, you know, great for him to counter. I can play the Invocation next turn and he couldn't counter it if I wanted. Of course, I assume... Oh, no, he kept the land. I guess he's pretty well mana fixed. So, another land. We will go ahead and spin Soren slightly down. With an emblem. Need to learn to type one day. So I get an emblem. And we will go ahead and get rid of Jace, or at least attempt to. And we do. Second main phase. Play Talrand's Invocation. You know, Syncopate for 2 doesn't quite do it, so we'll see. Don't know what the last card in his hand is. And we'll go ahead and make those 3/2 flyers. There's any number of spells he could have to get out of this here, you know. Another Supreme Verdict, a Snapcaster, Tension Sphere on, what are you going to hit here? Drake's, good call. Alright, so got a Dungeon Geist. I'm just going to hold on to it for the time being, I think. Go ahead and swing in. Vampire. Second main phase. Make another one. And end it. You know, he can have all the sweepers he wants as long as I've got Soren taking out tokens each turn. Especially once I got the emblem out. I'm a little surprised that he hasn't been able to deal with Soren. Well, I guess he did once. That seems alright, I guess. Another Vampire Nighthawk. So here's where the Dungeon Geist is just going to come in and really ruin his day here, hopefully. Second Invocation, so I mean, I know his last card is Syncopate here, so he could Syncopate for 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna have to play out the last Vault here. I'll play a Dungeon Geist. Tapping him. I'm gonna go ahead and spin Soren down. Get a second emblem. We'll increase all their power. And sorry, we'll decrease their toughness. We're up to 30 here, so see what his last move is. See if he drew a sweeper. That would be less than ideal. Have to remind him that he is still tapped down. You know, Dungeon Geist is a card that kind of got forgotten, but I think it's a really good answer right now to things like Thragtusk and the Nighthawk and just other kind of troublesome creatures. You know, it's got a 3/3 body, 3/3 flyer, which is a decent body. It's a bit of a clock. And especially in this deck, I mean, I've got the four favorable winds to pump them, the Drogskull Captains, Sorens. There's Olivia Voldaren. Okay. She doesn't have the men to really do much here. He's at 1. So, I mean, she can definitely kill one of my creatures here, but I don't see how he survives this, with Syncopate being his last card. Oh, back up. Oh, of course. It's a vampire. Very nice play. Let's see here. I need Olivia to die here for certain. We're going to go ahead and do this. That's fine. That's fine. So those both die. And 3. I guess we'll go to the second main phase to do all that. Once again, I'm just gonna, you need to have a sweeper here. Suppose I should have copied the Drake tokens as well. So they're gonna be 4/2 Fliers. I'm top decking now, which is kind of unfortunate, but there we go. That's game 1. We'll move on to game 2 in a minute here.